The next one is gonna be our very first parent series for Learn at Home Fest, right? So every day we will have this 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. as our parent series. So during this parent series, the kids have been learning for the whole day, right? So now it's the parents' time. Sit down and relax and talk to our next speaker, Miss Hanny Cheng, all right? So the topic we're going to talk today is special playtime with kids. So we believe that playtime is very, very important to all the kids in developing either their motor skills, all right, even their imaginations, their organizing and stuff. So basically, they learn through playing. But of course, there are skills as well. So today, Miss Hanny is gonna teach you how do you apply these 4 skills when you're playing with them. All right? And same thing, if you are here, you can comment below and let me know that you are here, all right? And just now I saw some really cute and funny comments that I couldn't help it. When I saw, I was like, I laugh also, okay? Hello, Charlotte. Hello, everybody. Okay, so I hope that the parents are ready now, okay? And since it's online learning, right? So you're sitting in front of the screen, I would suggest you to get some drinks or popcorn, chips or whatever it is, okay? Sit here, relax, and learn something with Miss Hanny's sharing today. All right, so before we carry on to the next speaker, once again, let me remind you guys again, all right, to share this live. Secondly, upload your pictures or videos to Facebook and Instagram and hashtag GogoKids, hashtag Learn at Home, all right? Then the third thing is that remember to register yourself at learnathomefest.GogoKids.my in order to get all sorts of e-vouchers. All right, these are some little gifts that we would like to give it to you, and please accept it. So remember to quickly register yourself at learnathomefest.GogoKids.my. All right. Okay, coming up next, we have Miss Hanny Cheng from Heaven Clothing. She is a licensed counselor, social entrepreneur, author, and a public speaker. So like I have mentioned just now, the topic for today's parent series, right, will be special playtime with kids. Is Miss Hanny going to play with us? We don't know yet, and I'm not going to ask for you because I'm just going to sit here with Miss Hanny for the next 50 minutes so that I get to learn something from her. All right, shall we? Let's put our hands together to welcome Miss Hanny.
Hello, hi Jolie.
Hello, Miss Hanny. Hello there. Hi, Miss Hanny. Can you tell us a bit more about yourself?
Sure. So I am a counselor by profession. So I have been in this counseling profession for more than 10 years now. So I've always worked with children and teenagers. And so in the counseling, what we do is we support the children, the parents, the teachers in terms of their behaviors and emotional aspect. So usually, the children that come into my office is they are being seen as the naughty kids or kids with problems, but it's always revolving around the behavioral issues. Like for example, if in the schools, it's let's say they have behavioral problems that they do not want to go to school, or they are being aggressive to their friends, or things like that. And so they come into my office, and then we will do some counseling. And with kids, sometimes they will not just sit down and tell you their problem. So you have to use play. So I've been using play therapy as a medium for me to enter their world, so that I get to know what's really going on, what actually makes them behaving in such a way. And a lot of times you'll find out that eventually it goes back to their emotional issues, like a lot of feelings that they are going through, but they do not know how to express it in a good way. And therefore, they'll react in such a way that is not constructive, and usually is very disturbing for people around them, and also for themselves. So I've been working as a counselor for more than 10 years now, and so I've also have created my own programs in teaching EQ, emotional intelligence, like, because I've been dealing with all these emotional and behavioral problems. And so I found out that indeed we can learn about it, like as a since young. You can learn about the skills, how to help yourself when you're angry or when you're stressed up and things like that, because I think this is a very important, but unfortunately it is not taught in our education system. So I found that it's a waste, and we should start having EQ education since young. So therefore, we founded Heaven Clothing, which is a social enterprise that I'll teach EQ classes to these children living in a shelter home. These underprivileged children, somehow they receive a proper education, but they do not have like EQ education in the sense that because they are not living with their own family. And no, there isn't an adults who will consistently be in their life to teach them about life skills, human skills. So I come into the picture. So what happened is that when they, because we do a lot of expressive art activities in the lessons, in the lessons. So they have produced so many inspiring artworks. So then we printed it out on a T-shirt and then we sold it. So eventually, parts of the fund. Yeah, so and then they will come back and the funding that we get, so that we can continue to benefit these children. And Heaven Clothing, it's about 4 years old now already, and then we have expanded our program to more children, and we hope that eventually more children can get to benefit from it. Yeah.
That's really good. When I listened to the explanation, I literally got goosebumps. It's like, because I totally understand that there are many kids out there being treated in a way that you should be like that. But in
Yeah.
fact, individuals, they are individuals, so that everyone have different kind of thinking. Even though you experience the similar situation, but then their reactions will all be different. So I think it's really good that letting even be it parents or people around them. It's not necessary to be parents only, but people around them to know how to communicate, because definitely our minds and stuff like that are different. So I am very looking forward for your 4 simple skills, and then I hope that all the parents and also be it teachers or anyone who are watching right now could be benefits from here.
Sure.
Okay,
Yes.
so
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this opportunity.
I personally also like really like this session where this is definitely going to benefit the kids. So so without further ado, we shall carry on with this session. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys later. Okay.
Thanks, Jolie. Hello. So I'm going to start sharing about the play skills that I mentioned earlier. So basically, I want to talk about the play, like why play is so important, because play is the language of the children. Why would I say that? Because your child wouldn't sit there and tell you how they feel about their schoolwork, how what happened to them, and someone did something, and then how they feel about it and what they want to do about it. Usually kids just wouldn't do that to you. You will realize, and sometimes you will even find out that probably adults, we adults may not be that expressive as well. And looking at our culture, we are not that expressive, in a sense that we get to really communicate what's really going on within us. So therefore, play is a very, very important way for us to reach out to our children, because children play. Okay, that's the only things that you don't have to tell them, you don't have to urge them, and automatically they will just play. And you will find out that through their play, a lot of things are actually happening, and they're actually telling you about what is actually going on in their life, because children observe all the time, and they experience life as it is. And because after you have learned something, after you observe something, you definitely you will process, and then after that you will need to communicate out. So for children, they will use play. Sometimes you will see how if you observe your children play, you will find out that they will start to make up a story and what's going to happen, and things like that, because this is basically it reflected what they have seen in their life and what they have felt in their life as well. So which also means if we as an adult, we as parents, we as a teacher, if we can't master the language of play, which also means that it's very hard for you to really understand the inner world of your children. So today I'm going to teach you 4 simple skills on how you can actually start playing with your kids and start to mastering the language. So basically, this is actually coming from a therapy called filial play therapy. But today I'm not going into in depth about what this therapy of. I'm just using the skills that we are using in this specific therapy, so that you can apply on at any setting, okay, as long as you have kids to play with. And the play is actually applicable for children from 3 years old to 12 years old. But indeed, later, after you've listening to my explanation of these 4 skills, you will also learn that it is applicable to even adults. Okay, so I will explain to you a little bit more. So I picked the 4 very important skills today. And before telling you about what are those skills, I would want to talk about the principle. Okay, I call it as a special playtime because chances are you're going to spend a lot of time with your kids playing already. And I have a lot of parents come to me and say, I play with my kids all the time. And so I don't see, what are things that I can do. But I call it as a special playtime because this is a very special moment that you want to create with your child. So in this special playtime, I have 3 principles that you have to always remember. Okay, first, in this special playtime, you have to give undivided attention. Okay, you have to always remember undivided attention. What do I mean by undivided attention? Your phone should not be somewhere close to you, because once your phone is with you, you will have the tendency to check on your phone, or your phone might ring and you will just have to attend to your phone. So during this special playtime, remember, this is just like a dating time and you should not attend to any other stuff. So it is a one-on-one. Okay, if let's say you have 3 children, so make sure that each of them get the special playtime from you. So let's say you're gonna have you're gonna have this special playtime with your a daughter per se. Okay, so you make sure that this is one-on-one time, and then you're gonna give your undivided attention to this particular child at this time. So the amazing part about special playtime is it can be 15 minutes to 30 minutes. And in our research, we have found out that if you conduct special playtime once a week for 30 minutes for a consecutively of 10 weeks, you will see huge results in your child. Let me tell you what are the huge results. You will see that your kids can handle their emotions much better, in the sense that they don't like throw tantrum, and they don't like do something that is out of your control. They become happier, they're more cheerful, they have their self-esteem actually gets increased, and they are more confident to try new things. There are a lot of benefits of it, and I wouldn't go there because I want to tell you more of the things that you can do. But if you are really interested in this special playtime and you want to know more about it, you can always go and Google filial play therapy, and it will give you like a long list of the benefits if you're doing this special playtime with your child. So coming back to the first principle, like I mentioned just now, undivided attention. Undivided attention means your child only deserves the best of you. So it shouldn't be like, any distractions from your other children, distractions from your phone call, or distractions from anything. And of course, physically you are there, and make sure that emotionally you are there as well. Sometimes a lot of times we are there, but we are not there. I think you get what I mean. So this is the very first principle. Even if just for 15 minutes, you have to tell yourself, this is a 15 minutes of special playtime, and I'm going to give my best to my child. So it's just only 15 minutes, okay? And my child is in front of me, and I'm going to give my full attention for 15 minutes to this particular child. Okay, the second principle. The second principle is like in this, say, let's give it 15 minutes. It's good enough. Let's say you decided to have this special playtime once a day or even once a week. Okay. In this 15 minutes, okay, the second principle is I'm not going to teach. I'm not going to preach. I'm not going to guide. So remember, in this 15 minutes, no guiding, no preaching, and no teaching. Okay, this is what we as the parents or educators, we love to do. Okay, we also feel be responsible that we need to teach our children, but in this special playtime, because it is so special, that you don't do these things. Okay, that's the second principle. And the third principle is what was it? Okay, your child is the boss. Okay, so basically he will lead the session. He will decide what he wants to do. He will, he's the boss, and he's the leader, and you are the follower. So what are you going to do in this special playtime? You just let your child be the boss. Okay, and then later I will guide you. Like, okay, are you sure? How am I going to let my kids be a boss? In just 15 minutes, because it's special playtime, right? How you want to really build the relationship and have the bonding time is to always remember these three principles. So I'm done with the core principles for this special playtime. Now I'm going into the skills. So, okay, I've decided that I'm going to spend the next 15 minutes or 30 minutes with my child. I'm going to sit down with my daughter, and what I'm going to do. Okay, so she's going to play, and what am I going to do? I don't have anything with me, and I just sit there with her. So what now? So basically the setting, like I mentioned just now, is about undivided attention, right? Which also means you need to find a place that has no distractions. For example, in a room, you just have to lay out a play mat. Okay, just a small area will do. If you don't have a play mat, a blanket will do. And put all the toys around, and invite your kids to come into the room. Lock the room. Okay, no disturb sign hanging outside of the door. And tell your kids that, now daddy or mommy is going to have this very special time with you. So you can decide what you want to do. You want to play, and I'm here. I'm going to play with you. So I'm going to be here. Okay, so both of you sit down. Okay, this special playtime, and your kids get very excited because you make it very special, right? So, mommy, daddy specially arrange this setting for me, and now I can play, and I can get all the attention from my mom or my dad. Okay, so the first skills, what you're going to do is like, I call it as tracking. Okay, the skill of tracking means you will have to keep following what is your child is actually working on. You know how when you watch football and you have this commentator, keep tracking on every actions of all the athletes and what are they doing, and they are like, on time, and just describe the action of what is going on. That's what you need to do. Okay, you are there since you got nothing to do, you don't have any distractions, so now you have to pay full attention. Remember just now I mentioned about you, when you give attention to your kids, okay, you observe what your kids is actually doing, and you have to learn how to express it out. Okay, you have to learn how to describe what they are doing. So imagining your kids start to, they have started some play. Okay, they pick up some cars and some dinosaurs, maybe, they start to pick it up. So in order for you to exercise this skill, you may just say that, hey, something, I can see that some things interest you, and you pick this out, okay? And you stack them up together and you line them up. You're trying to describe what is happening. The reason of you need to do this tracking is because you need to let your child know that you are there. Like what I mentioned just now, that you are there but you're not there sometimes. Yeah, physically you are there, but are you really paying attention? So when you say that, indirectly you're telling your child that, hey, she's watching and she knows what I'm doing. Yeah. So tracking is a skill that I found that in my experience of training parents to do tracking, they found it very hard. One is because being an Asian, we are not that verbally expressive to say a lot of things. Usually we don't say much things, okay? So which is why they found it very hard at first. But with practice, and this is the easiest skill from most of the parents that to feedback, about this feeder play therapy, the special playtime, they told me that, after they have conducted for a couple more sessions, and then they found that, hey, actually, this is the easiest skills as compared to the other skill, because that's why I started off with this easier skill. But this is also the skill that seemed to be the most difficult at first, okay? Because you don't feel like you are an expressive person and you want to describe the action. It feels weird, okay? So I'm going to give you more example. So usually when I train parents, I will have like real kids playing so that I can do the demonstration. But if you try to, as I'm explaining this to you, right, you can try to recall some of the play scene that your kids always have, whether it's with dolls, with guns, with cars, with dinosaurs, animals, Legos, or art and craft and painting and things like that, or blocks. And usually they will just have, some actions, and as you're following through, you will realize that there are story as well. Sometimes in their play, they will have like a plot of the story as well. So what you need to do, you just only have to pick up a few words that will always be used, like what I mentioned just now, how you stack things up, how you line things up, how you, like the police start to chase the thief, and some action. So just keep it simple. When you're doing a tracking, it's the best that you keep it simple, especially with the younger kids. You do not want to say too much. Just keep it simple. In a sentence, less than 10 words is the best, because, kids, they are playing, but of course they are listening as well. So if, let's say, you found it very difficult to express, oh, okay, so she's, that you have a lot of thinking process going on if you want to track the action. So I would say sometimes whatever that you see immediately, you just describe it out, like, whether is the police running, is the police walking, simple actions and simple words, and nothing sophisticated. You don't have to like process it, or you don't have to like guess or make any assumption. That's not the objective of it. So doing tracking is really about it serves many purposes. One is that you want to let the child know, yeah, Papa Mama is actually watching, and I know what is going on, and I'm following your story. Secondly, is also for you to stay alert. In order for you to do tracking, which means you have to give your undivided attention. I mentioned a lot of times, right? Undivided attention. In order for you to stay alert, in order for you to do tracking, you need to stay alert all the time, or else you just couldn't do the tracking. So that's why tracking is good for the kids and also good for you, which also means that, it keeps you busy. Because a lot of times I also receive feedback from parents is like, yeah, I want to play with my kid, but I do not know how. I don't know how to play. I said, it's okay. You can just sit there, observe, and just track. Just describe their actions in a very simple words. Let them know that you are there and you see it and you understand. That's good enough. So as simple as that. So from today now, if you do not know how to play with a kid, you don't have to make yourself silly or you want to like play with them. Just by sitting beside them, the best is at their level, sit close to them and observe what they are doing and simply just describe the action. You don't have to interpret the play. You don't have to assume anything. Just simply be there and describe. So this is a wonderful skill when you want to spend time with your child. Okay, and of course, for 15 minutes or 30 minutes, do I have to, like, for the entire 30 minutes, I have to keep talking and keep speaking? So this is also another common questions that I get. Like, you don't have to, you just need to come to a balance of it. You don't have like every single second and just keep talking, you see. But it's like, I think you get the essence. The essence that you have to let your child know that you are there. You know, if let's say after tracking for 5 minutes and then suddenly you become quiet for another 5 minutes, then I will know that probably you're not there anymore because you don't know what to say, or probably, you know, your mind went somewhere else. So I think you get the essence of it. Okay, you don't have to track every single second. Okay, but you don't want to have a long pause as well. Just keep the flow going. And the more you do it, then you will feel more comfortable with it, and then you know how to balance, you know, how much do you want to describe the action, because I think sometimes certain actions you just do not know, you know, how to describe it, and that is fine. Don't beat yourself down. It's okay. Okay, so imagine that you are spending this special playtime with your child, so you want to be relaxed. You don't want to get tense up as well. Okay, so that is the first skill of it, which is tracking. All right. Okay, so this is one thing that you can do when you are playing with your child. The second skill is called reflective responding. Reflective responding. So basically, you need to reflect on their feelings. So reflective responding is very much focused on the feeling. You know, sometimes when you and your kids are playing, they have feelings going on, you know, when the very common feelings that they will go on, like they show excitement. They're very excited with the play, and if something happened, probably they get very frustrated. You know, for example, maybe things they are building a blocks and then somehow it didn't work, it fell, and then they get very frustrated, or they get disappointed, or you know, they feel defeated. You know, these are the common feelings that a child will have in their play. Or sometimes they become suddenly very upset about it, you know, or they remind while playing, they recall something and then they feel very sad about it. So while you are paying attention, while you're doing the tracking just now, right, you will be able to also at the same time sense the feelings that is actually going through in your child. So for example, you can see it on their face. So just now we talk about focusing on the behaviors, right? The actions, right? So now it's very much focusing on the feeling part of it. As a parent, you will be able to know whether your child is upset, whether your child is excited, whether your child is very happy or very satisfied with what they are doing. So it's good to reflect their feelings, to tell them how they are feeling at that point of the moment. For example, the other days, my 2-year-old is actually building a tower, you know, stacking up the Legos, and he was very excited, you know, when the tower builds up, And of course, immediately you can see it on his face, and he shows excitement and he was clapping for himself. Then I would say you are very proud of what you're doing, and you're very satisfied with it. You're very excited with it. You are so happy that you did it. These are the examples that we can reflect. We can say to our child, because we want to. It serves many purposes when we reflect on their feelings. One, you want to let them know that I see it, I understand it, I know how you feel. Imagine that your parents, your own parent, really understand how you feel towards certain things. That feels really good. I think not just only parents, like even if your friends or your bosses, your colleagues, anyone around you, understand what you are going through, how you are feeling, that feels really good, because it feels like you're being accepted, and people see it. And that's our human needs, you see. We want to be seen, and we want to be understood. So if, let's say, I'm going through some happy moment here, and you see it, that's great. And if I'm going through some frustration here, I'm going through downtime, and you say it, that's great. So you want to do that to your child. You want to always send that precious message to your child that, mommy's is here, I see it, I understand, and I care. And I'm with you. You're happy, I'm happy. Okay, you're upset, I'm upset too. So this is an important message that you want to send to your child through play. Look at how play is so amazing, because in the play process itself, like I mentioned to you, for the children, is their reality. You see, they are playing it out, all the scenes, and that's where they learn. So a lot of feelings are actually surfacing in the playing process. So this is a golden opportunity for you to teach them about feelings as well, to teach them about recognizing and identifying their own feelings, whether it's a good feelings or bad feelings, is okay. And it is completely fine that you're frustrated about things that it doesn't work. And that happens all the time. That happens to adults as well. That happens to parents as well. So you are just reflecting. You are not trying to do anything. You're basically just reflecting. Look at how easy that is. It's really the skills that I'm teaching is really in between of a fine line, that it's still easy. It comes naturally, but at the same time, you need to practice about it. It won't come naturally to us because our upbringing culture is not like that. Like before I learned about these skills, before I'm becoming a counselor, I think I myself is coming from like a typical Chinese family, that my parents wouldn't say those things to me, that they recognize my feelings or things like that. And after I've learned all these things, then only I found out how powerful this can be. And that therefore I think in our generation, if let's say this is something that we can learn and we can change, why not? So start to pick up the skills of reflective responding. And I can give you more examples. Like for example, when they are, so happy feeling is pretty easier to be picked up. Usually it's just you satisfying, happy, excited, you like what you are doing, the joy that you can see, and then you're laughing. And I think feelings like this are pretty easier to pick up and pretty easier to reflect, is that you're very happy with what you are doing. You're very happy with the result. You feel this is so silly, and things like that is pretty easy to pick up. And let's look at on the other end of the feelings. Usually will be the upset feelings. Sometimes maybe even anger. Like for example, sometimes when kids play, for example, they are being aggressive. While they are acting on like a fighting scene, or something broke, or they become angry and probably they want to destroy things, and suddenly they become destructive. And you will find out that emotions like this will trigger your emotions a lot. Like, for example, when you look at them being angry, you will also feel angry towards it. So in a way, I think what parents usually did, the way they reflect their anger is not by saying it out, but because it triggers their anger, the parents' anger as well. The parents will behave aggressively sometimes, like verbally or physically. Like verbally, it's like immediately probably some parents will just shout at the kids that ask you don't throw, don't destroy the toys and da 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 da. So because their anger trigger your anger. So when it comes to the feelings part, you will also realize that your emotions are easily being triggered as well, of course, because they are your child. So again, special playtime, it's not about you, it's about your child. It's special playtime, like I mentioned, the third principle just now, they are the boss. So basically, you're the follower. It's not about you. It's not about you getting angry, or it's not about you feeling defeated, but it's about you giving them your attention and acceptance and the acknowledgement. So, for example, when they are being very angry towards it, and basically the first thing that you need to do really is about reflective responding. You just have to respond. You don't react to it. Okay, and same goes to sadness. In my office, and sometimes in the middle of the play, kids cry because some things that doesn't work out in their way, and they get very upset and they just burst into tears and they cry. So and that equally, I think parents will get triggered as well. So when they're crying and you feel like you want to react to it, like, is there anything that I can do to rescue? But again, you don't have to, but you just need to respond to it. Yeah. Mama sees you. I know that you are very sad because the teddy bear just probably the legs or the arms just get torn off or whatever. You can just say it out, that I can see that you're very upset with it, and if you need to cry, yes, crying will make you feel better, and that's fine. So it's about just merely respond by reflecting what they are going through, because the message that you want to send it to your child in this special playtime is really about telling them that you understand what's going on, and you see it because you pay attention to them. And that's it. So that's about reflective responding. So the challenge that I have found among parents when it comes to this particular skill, reflective responding, is they found it very hard to really describe some of the feelings, and the vocabulary is quite limited because again, in our daily life, we don't express our feeling that much as well. So how can we, describe more? So which also means that we have to, pay a little bit of effort to learn about it. And when it comes to talking about the feelings, and another purpose that we want to serve is also to expand the vocabulary for our children. Because now, if let's say you can identify, whatever that you're going through is called frustration. So the next round, he will tell you he has learned that whatever that I'm going through, it is called frustration. So the next round, when he was going through something in school, when he come back, then he will share with you, Papa, I'm feeling very frustrated because of this, because he has learned that. So I think the vocabulary of feelings is you have to learn it through, you need to experience it in order for you to truly learn about that feelings. So when you are doing the reflective responding, basically indirectly you're teaching them a lot of vocabs, a lot of emotional vocab, so that in future they know how to express themselves better, because you have shown them, how is this feeling, so that they know how to express to yourself when they are not in the play session. So you see, simple skills, but in a way you are actually nurturing them so much when it comes to emotional intelligence, right? So we already covered 2 skills. So basically, if the entire 15 minutes or the 30 minutes you're just doing these 2 skills, basically you're doing a very good job already. So again, parents nowadays, we still feel like we want to do better than the better. We want to be the best, for our children. So I'm going to share with you 2 more of other skills that you can also use, right? Okay, so we have covered tracking, reflective responding. So the third one will be encouragement. Okay, and I want to talk about encouragement versus praise. It's very common that we praise our children. Wow, good job, excellent. Oh, you did it, this is so beautiful, so nice. We tend to praise our kids, and let me give an example. For example, your kids run to you excitedly, want to show you her masterpiece. She just drew something, and then she wants to show you. And if you were to recall, most of the adults' response are, wow, so beautiful, this is so nice, good job. That's how we used to do, when it comes to respond to our kids. But if you have followed what I've just shared just now, right, the 2 skills, I would do reflective responding first. When she was excitedly running to you, want to show you something, I say, you are really excited about your work. Come, let me see what it is. And then she will excitedly, eyes opening, and then we just start to share with you, mama, or papa, look at this, And then I would continue to do the reflective responding and say that you're really proud of what you have done. I think you really like this. But instead, most of the time, we will say, I'm proud of you. Let me tell you the difference between you look proud of what you have done versus I'm proud of you. Just pondering about the difference between these 2 statements. Okay, if you say I'm proud of you, it's revolving around you. It's about you. It's about your acceptance. It's about your recognition. Okay, your child is showing you something. I'm proud of you. I am proud of you. Okay, it's about me recognizing this artwork, acknowledging this artwork. You did it well. Good for you. Okay, so in a way, you'll find out that children will tend to want to get the acceptance from the parents, the recognition from the parents. It feels good, right? My parents love it. And if you were to reflect on your own life, being an adult now, that you will still want to, you will still like that acceptance and recognition from your parents. So now do you know where it's actually coming from? Of course, as a parents, they don't have any intention that it has to be revolving around them, but unconsciously it is. So, and what's the problem with that? The problem is it makes the kids, what motivates them to do something is because of some external factor. In other words, that what motivates me to achieve something is because I want to get recognition from others, because I want to have acceptance from others, because others' opinions mean a lot for me. And as an adult, you realize that a life motivated by external factors is very tiring, and it never ends. And because I'm a counselor, although I specialize in children and teenagers, I also work with many adult clients. And I also realized that a lot of adult clients, and they will come into a crisis that, so, okay, I've done this in my life. So who I am now, what do I want? And suddenly you meet like those midlife crisis, like, so what do I want for my life? So, you know, what's important and things like that. Because all this while, whatever that we are doing, we're still motivated by the external factors, by the recognition, not just people who matters to us, but also the society. And then you found that at the end of the day, you're just running a rat race and they just never end. So that is the danger, the potential danger of saying, I am proud of you. Okay, but of course, on and off, I think it's okay, you know, once a while, you're really proud of your child and that's what you want to express to them, and that's completely fine. But if we use it too often and it becomes like, you know, it's always revolving around me, then that's the danger of it. So versus with you look proud, basically you direct the motivation back to your child. And indirectly, you're telling your child that you love what you are doing, you are proud with what you're doing, you want to do this is because of yourself, because it's coming up from yourself. This is a very, very important message that you want to nurture these seeds in your kids, that you want to do something is because of yourself. It's not because of someone else. Because you love it, because you enjoy it, because you do it so well, and you feel so proud about it, and you should, you know, you should be motivated by it. So, in other words, you encourage your child to live a life that is directed by their own desire. Okay, and they will do it very well because it's coming up from them. So you get the message. So the third skill is about encouragement. It's really about encourage the process to see the good qualities in them rather than praising on the end products, rather than praising on the end results that, oh, this look good. Wow, clever and excellent. You did well. So this is usually the end results, like that again in our society is always outcome oriented, right? We look at the result. Results are most important. But as an adult, you do know that results are not everything, and results driven could be very stressful. And sometimes you have forgotten the joy in the process. And over the time, you also have learned that process is so much more important. So when you encourage the process, for example, how do you do that, right? It's still in the playtime. For example, talking about my 2-year-old stacking up the blocks, right? And so you see, being a 2 years old, and he's putting all his attention in, like he has to stack the blocks carefully. You know, that process itself, it shows his attention, his ability to focus on one thing. And I want to acknowledge that. I want to encourage that. Then I would say, you are very focused in stacking up the blocks. It's as simple as that. I'm just saying that I just want to encourage you to be more focused. And be more focused is a good quality in life. You know that if you need to do something, you need to stay focused. So that's what I want to encourage. So that would what I want to say to that, you know, you are very focused in stacking up the blocks and putting things together. So as easy as that. Another example, you want to encourage the effort. For example, focus is one thing, because in play you very often you will see kids being very attentive, showing a great sense of ability in paying attention to the details. You will see some kids, you know, when they are putting things together while they are playing, and you immediately want to say that. You say, look at you, you can be so attentive. And for example, if they meet some challenges and it's keep failing, and then they keep trying, that was also the process that would be also the quality that I would want to encourage. I would say that, look at you, you keep trying even though that, you know, it doesn't work. Mama is looking at you, you keep trying, you keep, you know, working on things. So these are the good qualities that we want to tell our kids, that, you know, you have such a quality in you. So in future, when it comes to your academic work, when it comes to your projects, you will still meet the similar condition. And remember to tap into the resources that you have. Remember, you can be very focused, you can be very determined, you persevere, and you can be very determined. That kind of quality is what we want to instill, and we want to enlarge, and we want to expand it, and we want to keep telling it to our kids that you have such a quality. Because the thing is that we cannot assure our kids, will always be successful. There are times that, our child will hit some failures and in life, and those are the time that they will have to always remember what my parents used to tell me, that I am a kid who will never give up. I am a person who will finish what I started. I'm a person who has the ability to complete one thing. So these are the inner voices that as a parent we want to give it to them. This is the most precious gift, I believe, that it will follow, it will be instilled in them, and it will be used for the rest of their life. Okay, so I have 10 more minutes, right? I have 10 more minutes. Okay, I've covered 3 skills. So let me recap: tracking, reflective responding, and encouragement. Okay. Lastly, I would say about okay, because remember that one of the principle is saying that the kids are the boss, right? But what happened is when kids is a boss, sometimes they will try to step on your boundary. They will test on your boundary. They will want to do some things that is that trigger you. And so what do you do with it? Okay. So what happened is that when you, for example, you mentioned that this special playtime is only 15 minutes or 30 minutes. Okay. So you will have to start it off to your child and say that, okay, when the clock hit like 3 or 4, that's the end of a special playtime, because it's so special. So we will limit, not to say maybe we don't use the limit. So this is a special time. So after 4 o'clock, we will proceed to the next activities. For example, you proceed to snack time or whatsoever. Okay, so you have to stick to it. So sometimes as a parent, you have to be very clear about your boundary. If you have set it as is 4 o'clock, means 4 o'clock. But if you yourself feel, oh, never mind, I think she's having a lot of fun, it's okay, I just let her continue to play maybe for another 10 more minutes. I think I can still, give my undivided attention to my child. I don't encourage you to do that, because you want to set a very, very straightforward message to your child. You do not want to confuse your child, because chances are maybe today you allowed your child to exceed 10 minutes, but after 2 days, you just don't have the capacity to do that, and then you say no. So that's the problem, when our child have behavioral issues. It's like they are receiving a lot of confusion from the parents, but sometimes you're okay, sometimes you're not okay. It's very confusing, so I do not know when to follow. So therefore, setting a clear boundary is very, very important. So if let's say this special playtime is 15 minutes or 30 minutes, then stick to it. So for example, the clock hits 4, it's 4 o'clock, okay, it's done, time is up. Okay, so we're gonna have our special playtime tomorrow or next week. Okay, and then your kids say, no, I want to keep playing. I love this. I want to keep playing with you. I don't want to go. No, 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 no. So problem arise, when our kids just keep saying no. So what do? Remember, you have to reflective responding. Okay, you need to respond to your child's desire at that particular moment, instead of react to it. Why say no again? Whatever I said yes means yes, that kind of thing. And you also remember the principle is about your child is a boss, right? So you couldn't say no to him. So what I'm going to do is, like, first step, you acknowledge it. Yes, I can really say that you love this special playtime with mommy. I can see that you enjoy this special playtime a lot, and you want to continue to play with me. Okay, and so that's the first step. But our time is up. Okay, 4 o'clock is our snack time. We need to go for our snack time. So okay, firstly, you want to tell them that, you want to tell your kids that you understand. we definitely understand, your desire and you want to stay. Therefore, you get a bit frustrated when I say time is up because you really wish to do that. Okay. But you also have to communicate the boundary. Our time is up. When Mama said it's 15 minutes, means it's 15 minutes. Okay. So once the time is up, you're letting him know that, okay, this is your boundary, you have to follow. But at the same time, because I also acknowledge your feelings, okay, I will always give you another different choices. Okay, how about, okay, we'll have this special playtime again tomorrow at the same time. Okay, you're helping your child to comfort that difficult emotions. So instead of saying no, I said no means no. So it's like, you're showing your authority again. You're not communicating the message that you understand and you care. So therefore, the step for you to manage, when your kids want to step on the boundary, firstly, you still have to reflect on his desire and his feelings. Okay, like, because I think immediately if you say those things like that, he will feel like, oh, okay, you understand. You know what? But I think, of course, yes, as a kid, especially younger kids, chances are the I want is will still be there. So what I'm going to do is like, okay, so how about we play same time tomorrow again, another 15 minutes. Okay, and then you just stand up. Your body language has to show to him that time is really up. Okay, stand up, let's go to get a snack or something. So this is the way when you want to communicate a boundary. Let me give you another example. We still have a little bit of time here. For example, if let's say your kids are suddenly being very aggressive, started to throw things at you. When they get very excited, sometimes they just forgot about the boundary and then they start to hit something on your face or on your body. And of course, immediately you want to stop. You want to stop it. And you can immediately reflect. Again, you reflect on the feelings first. You need to understand what's the desire. Okay, you have to catch the cue accurately. You will know. You will know whether your kids is intentionally. You will know your kids was being silly or was being aggressive. Like really, was it really? It's coming up from anger. The hitting was coming up from anger, or purely just being coming up from excitement. So you will definitely have to differentiate where are they coming from. Hitting itself is a sign of aggression, but that does not always means that it's coming out from aggression, because with kids, they don't have the intention to hurt. So you have to really understand where are they coming from. So you need to really reflect. Okay, you stop it. Let's say it's a sword or it's a gun or something. It hit you, and you stop the gun and said, "Mommy sees that you're very excited with the gun." Okay, or Mommy sees that you're very angry and you want to hit someone, but Mommy is not for hitting. Okay. So that's the difference when you said mommy is not for hitting or said you cannot hit mommy. When you said you cannot hit mommy, again, you are showing the authority and telling your kids that, yeah, I'm the boss here, so you cannot do what you need to do. Instead, if you say that mommy is not for hitting, you are providing him a facts, a statement that mommy is not for hitting. Okay? So you're not sending any message that, I'm the boss, so you have to listen and you cannot hit me. So do you see the difference when we use words precisely? So mommy is not for, so I would say that you are very excited with the gun, but mommy is not for hitting. Okay. And then you will do, okay, you can hit the pillow here. It's fine. You can hit the pillow. I know that you are very excited. You have the energy. You want to let it out. I understand that. So I will give you another alternative. You can hit the pillow. Pillow is fine because I can see that, you need to let your energy out. I provide you another alternative so that you can release your energy, you see. So it's very important that you always give options, because you also want to communicate to your kids that you always have a choice in life. Okay, if you cannot go this way, you can go that way. Eventually, it's like, I understand what you are going through, and I also understand that you have a need to release, the tension or the emotions, and I'll always show you what are the constructive, what are the healthy options out there. So imagine that as a kid, if you start giving them healthy options like that, when they grow up, when they are stressing up, they know what are the good options out there for them to choose to release their tension instead of suppressing themselves, thinking that I feel so wrong to be angry. I shouldn't let my anger out because it's so wrong and I do not know what to do with my anger. I have encountered cases like this with adults, a lot of them. So therefore, it's very important. So look at how by using these 4 skills, you can, play at a level that is filled with quality, and you are instilling good values, and you are actually building up your child's emotional intelligence and also the relationship between you and your child. And that is a very wonderful things to do. And it's just 15 minutes a week or a day, depends on you. Like what I shared earlier, research in our research, scientific research is like once a week, 30 minutes for consecutively for 10 weeks, you already see the results. And yeah, so it's amazing. It's amazing. I love to talk about this play skills with parents because I found out that it's so easy to do as long as we practice and the willingness, and I found out that it's the impact is so powerful. And I love to do this because previously I've done another live to share about these skills, and immediately their parents were so excited with it and they started to practice on it, and they even send me some of the videos that they play with kids so that I can give more feedbacks and all. And it's so amazing how the capacity for parents to learn new things is in order to really benefit their own children. So I really wish all of you the best, and if you want to know more about this, just go Google, filial play therapy, and you will get a lot of information out there. And of course, you're welcome to drop me any messages, and I'll do my best to reply to all of you. And I guess that's about it from my sharing today. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Hey, hey, sorry, I've muted my mic. Hi, thank you, Miss Henny. Thank you so much for your sharing. Hello. Okay, so let me recap with you and the parents. So today, Miss Henny has actually shared 3 principles with us, which is firstly undivided attention, which I personally definitely agree with this because actually I've been involved in some what do we call entertaining programs. So we do a lot of like shootings and activities with kids. And then when kids play with you, right, definitely you need to give them attentions because they can feel it generally. They'll feel that whether you are really into them or not. And then of course to your kids, you have to just give them all this attention. And then secondly, also no guiding, no preaching, and no teaching as well, because like you said, the third point is also right, the child is the boss. So during that specific playtime, right, try to listen to your kids because you will be totally amazed on what they have in their mind, be it their imaginations, their thinkings, and so on. So that are the 3 principles, and then we also have 4 skills. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I really did pay attention on that. So first of all, tracking. Just now, Miss Henny actually shared a lot on tracking, and I personally think that there are also a few more ways on doing this tracking, which is very easy as well. And also, this will encourage your kid to talk more as well. So, for example, because I do a lot of creative works with kids as well, I always encourage them to like draw or just simply doodle anything that they have in mind. So you try to notice the little things that they have inside, or even when they play, maybe they just place a hat on a Barbie or something like that. Try to notice the small little things and ask them, what is it about? They will be so happy to tell you about their stories, why they did so, and so on and everything. And then secondly, reflective responding. That's something that I didn't know, and then I think that is really is really useful as well. Because at first when I was like listening at time, I thought that um, it's something that totally new to me. But there is a question that I would like to ask, right? What if, because you did mention that if your child is being very upset or aggressive and so on, then we need to acknowledge their emotions and their feelings and tell them that it's okay to be angry and so on and stuff like that. But there are cases where the kids, they have maybe a wrong perception towards things as well. So, for example, they are losing the games, they get very upset and they are throwing their temple and all. Then, should we acknowledge their emotions at the time, or should we try to correct their thinking towards that certain matter?
Yeah, do you remember the principle? The principle is no teaching, no guiding, and no preaching. I think as an adult, we tend to have these sets of like whether it's the ethical issues, the moral, how life should be carried in a certain way. In this special playtime, I would say we don't do that. But of course, as a parent, you spend other times. You can do that in other times. But in this special playtime, like I mentioned, it's very special, and you do not want to do that kind of guiding, because there are times that the kids they don't really need that kind of guidance. They will process themselves. It's just that because parents want to be in control and quickly, okay, I see something's not right, I quickly want to jump in and correct certain things. And indeed, sometimes we don't have to go into that extent, but particularly for this special playtime, we just reflect on it. Like that was actually a good scenario. There are many times that kids, they cannot lose. They feel like, okay, they feel so defeated. So then we will just reflect. If you feel very upset and you're defeated, you really wish that you can win the game. That's it. And probably if let's say they keep on showing you the symptoms that they are very upset with it, as a parent you want to offer comfort. So at that point you can offer the comfort, which is I can give you a hug, maybe, okay, let me know what you want to do, what are things that we can do together to make you feel better. At that moment, I think your kids is drowning in the emotions. So when your kids is drowning, don't teach the kids how to swim. Your kids are drowning and you keep preaching and say, actually, you should swim like this. If you swim like this, then you won't be drowned. No one's going to listen. So I always tell the parents that when your kid is drowning, don't teach. But a lot of times that as a parent, this is what it's kind of like quite naturally we want to do that, because we are also in fear. As a parents, we so scared that what happened if he carries on this kind of attitude or this kind of thinking towards winning and losing and that kind of thing. So a lot of time it trigger a lot of the parents' insecurity. Therefore, we want to quickly jump in to do something as if like we can have some control, but a lot of times we don't. So I rather will want to take care of the kids' emotions at that point of time. Yeah, it is not okay to throw tantrum and da 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 da, but I can tell the kids that when you're not feeling happy, you can talk to me, you can hug me, you can shoot the pillow. That is completely okay.
Okay, thank you so much. I think it definitely like answered my concern and my question, because I do face some kids like that you don't know whether should you guide them right now or maybe you should give them comfort and so on.
Yeah, but and of course, sorry, of course, I think the guidance can come later when they're already calmed down. I think it really depends on the timing as well. So after they calm down, after they feel more, when they are not drowning anymore, when they feel more safe, they are more willing to listen. They're more open to listen. Of course, at that time, the guidance can come in. For example, let's say in the special playtime, this thing happened, but probably at night when both of you go to sleep, and then probably those are the good time for you to talk about it again. And then that would be the best timing for you to really do the guidance process.
Yeah, I personally strongly agree with it, because, for example, like if the playtime is only 15 to 30 minutes, we try to make it that the kids will really look forward towards this precious and special time together instead of so much of guiding and stuff like that. Okay, then we have the third one, which is encouragement. Okay, we give them a lot of encouragement, but not blindly praise them only. And also the fourth one will set your boundary. All right.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like student trying to
You got it all
impress
right.
the teacher.
All right. You are very attentive and and you pay attention.
I'm very interested in all these topics, and which I think I really gain a lot from you. Thank you so much for your sharing with us.
Thank you so much, Jolie.
So I hope that you have a good evening, and we hope to see you soon also, okay?
Thank
you so much.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.